Good morning and welcome back to the morning commute with Opie living in the city. It is a beautiful day here. It is 75 degrees on the dash and it's nice and cool. We've been experiencing the cool down here in the last week or so. It's really nice in the morning, and the actual temperature for tap water is getting better and better. During the peak of summer here in Arizona, in the Phoenix area, the cold tap water is usually pretty warm. I can't remember the last time we took the temperature, but it's not nice. But it's cooling down now. You actually have to wait a while for the hot water to warm up in the morning. It's about 5:33. We are headed into downtown Phoenix. We got an early start today. Got some projects completed, and we are working hard on our debt snowball. I'm not sure if you guys subscribe to the whole Dave Ramsey budgeting and I guess way of life. We tried it before and it does work. We were able to clean up a lot of stuff that was out there. We stopped paying for cable, we cut our subscriptions, and the only thing that's difficult at times is deciding spur of the moment purchases or trips up north, or and also eating out. And we're getting better at the eating out part, but last night we did cave in and make some, or we ordered some wings and salad. We had originally planned for some chili beans with Frito chips, like a Frito pie, and hot dogs on the side. Two different dishes, not mixed together, but it might be okay mixed. However, we decided that was a little bit too much sodium and processed food for us, and so we went with a salad and some wings. And I'm bringing my extra wings for lunch today. And then I also baked some pork chops, marinated in soy sauce, oyster sauce, lime, garlic, and you know what? I forgot to add the sesame sauce, sesame oil. But we didn't eat those. I just put them in the fridge for this evening. And we actually don't have anything on our menu for the rest of the week, actually. So we'll be working on that. We got some momentum with our debt snowball. We recently paid off and closed a couple credit cards, and so I'm gonna work on the list this afternoon after I get off work, and then see how it goes. Excuse me. So basically how we've been doing it and how we've done it in the past is we open up an Excel spreadsheet, and in the far left column we put the accounts in no particular order, and then on the top we have one row that's dedicated, or a couple rows that are dedicated to some fields. So basically, if you're going to start it out, your first column would be your credit cards, any kind of debt that you have, your mortgage, taxes, let's see what else, car payments, anything like that. That's we usually don't put our like utilities and groceries in there. And then on the top we usually have the date, one column. The next column would be like the date checked, so that interest rates, and then one more for authorized users. So if you're, like, say for instance, you have young children and you want them to start building credit, then this is not what Dave Ramsey preaches, but what we did was we added them to a couple credit cards so that they start building that. They don't use them, they don't have access to them, we just pay them, and that way they have a credit history. And that actually helped them when they got their first apartment. They didn't have to put down any deposit. I think they got their first month free, and they also didn't have to put any deposits on their utilities. So in a sense, that's good that they built that history. And then once you enter all your data, you can manipulate your spreadsheets. We usually like to put a page break on the first, like maybe second row, second column. That way we can sort and scroll around. Sometimes you can sort it by the total amount owed or the interest rate, and you can just play with it like that. And then what we do is we sort it by total amount due, and we look for the low-hanging fruit. And once we identify that, we talk and decide, okay, are you comfortable with attacking this and closing it? Because sometimes when you go back and look at your statements, you can see the amount of interest you pay every month. So that takes a toll on any kind of savings, investments, or anything that you have available, because that's just being basically wasted money that's going into someone else's pocket. And then you can also look at your annual fees, and sometimes they'll get you with unauthorized fees. Like we had a couple of credit cards that were adding like a credit protection thing, and when I contested that, it took forever to get it off. And when I requested documentation on how or why they put it on there, they sent me a letter saying that it was authorized by a couple phone numbers, Arizona phone numbers, that I have no idea who they belong to. So I'm still supposed to send that to the Attorney General. So yeah, after that you start sorting them, and then you can pay them off and just leave them open if that's what you choose. That may just depends on how you look at it. It helps with your debt to income ratio. It shows that you have a high line of credit that you aren't using, and that you pay your bills off in full. But we decided we don't want to play around with any annual fees or any kind of interest payments. So we're starting to pay them and close them, and go from there. And then we also are trying to, we haven't done what Dave says, which is to eat rice and beans and sell everything you can. But we did stop our subscriptions. We're trying to stop or minimize any eating out. We haven't purchased any new vehicles. We don't want to purchase any new vehicles. But so that's what's on the agenda after work. I'm also supposed to upload some music stuff for Mesa Media. And then we're trying to decide if we want to go up north this weekend. I haven't gotten any supplies for any of my projects. I haven't budgeted for that. But we haven't been up for a while just because of other priorities, and we had our great time. Go visit your older relatives and check on them, make sure they're okay, make sure they're ready for winter. Spend some time with them. And you guys be safe out there. Thanks for tuning in.